All right, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Blues of March 4th. I am sorry to say that we lost, the last recording, the recording for last week, to me not setting the file format that I wanted it to be to the correct thing, because I had used the recording software to record like something for school as like an audio file, and then I went to record something like a video for this, and then I forgot to set it back. So Oblivion was just an audio only experience, I guess. Well, today I have made extra sure to have the correct audio file, and we're playing Half-Life. In my Oblivion thing, I said that I was not sure I was going to continue playing Deus Ex on camera because it was kind of like a brain game, and I don't really, it's hard to divide your attention between the commentary and the brain game. Half-Life, on the other hand, is not a brain game, and after playing Half-Life 2 for Weekly Blues, like a month ago. No, it's been shorter than a month. Like 2 weeks ago, I had, Half-Life. Yeah, Half-Life was the one right before Oblivion. Yeah. I played through Half-Life 2. I totally beat the game. A while ago. And so I thought that playing through Half-Life 1 would be like a really nice thing for that. So I've got some coffee with whipped cream here because I'm fancy. Well, let me turn on the subtitles and everything.
The Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train.
I don't know. Are the subtitles not working? Alright, anyways.
Of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
I'm playing Half-Life 1 because it's a fun game and I love having fun. So, there you go.
93 degrees.
I actually, at first, I did a test recording of this that also ended up being, whatchamacallit. My test recording of this also ended up being audio format, because I did a test recording for this, and I was trying to see if I could play the game Greg Coomer with my left hand, where I shot with my left hand using the mouse, and so I retooled all the controls to be left-handed, and I played through the training tutorial thing with my left hand, using my right hand to move the arrow keys and whatnot. I actually did okay. It just started to, for whatever reason, it started to make my head hurt after a while, because it went against. It was like trying to move in a fourth dimension. It just didn't make sense to me. So I'm back using my right hand to shoot and my left hand to move around.
Toxicity of material routinely handled in the Black Mesa compound. No smoking, eating, or drinking are within the Black Mesa
so we're playing Half-Life. This week has not been a good week, especially the last day or two. But you know what? That's not really what we're here for. We're here to play video games and enjoy life. So, we're doing that. Let's just say that academics have been disappointing. One of my classes was doing some bullshit with me, and it was like, man, I don't want to deal with this. So I instead of dealing with it, I withdrew from the class and got a withdrawal grade, which means that it doesn't affect my grade point average, and I don't have to do the work for it anymore. So that's pretty sick. Which I'm okay with that. I got a withdrawal grade from the course, and I don't have to deal with it anymore. So that means my schedule on Tuesdays and Thursdays is freed up a little bit, which it was not particularly crowded in the first place, but Anyways.
Will commence this evening at 19
Anyways, I'll just be taking like a physics class this summer, which means that I will be training to be Gordon Freeman, because Gordon Freeman, theoretical physicist. Me, I'll be taking a 100 level physics class. I'll be taking like Physics 102, and then and that means that I'll be doing the same job. So.
Immediate openings
Yeah, anyways.
in the areas of materials handling and low
But yeah, so yeah, and also there was some shit with like extracurriculars that was kind of shocking, and I had to talk to my hold on. I had to talk to somebody about that, and it was like, we had a kind of a reality check there, but it was, it kind of all. It was a very comforting talk, because they were really nice, and it was, yeah, I just, didn't know what to do with this club that I am the co-chair of, and I'm considering not running again for co-chair next year, and so, and they told me that I did not have to do that if I did not want to, and so I was like, even though it's kind of an important club, and I was like, you know what? I think I won't. And I was kind of thinking I will not, and I will just tell one of the younger people or one of the other people to run, because, yeah. Anyways, it has been a very difficult week. We're entering the... God. This is like the 50th year of the 50th week of the pandemic. Maybe the 51st or 49th. We're close though. We're close to. We're close to the year mark. Because I remember last year. We got sent home for spring break, and then they told us not to come back. So, it was, and spring break for us is next week, I think, just around the corner. So, yeah. Yeah, so we're just playing Half-Life 1, Half-Life Source. So I hope all of you will enjoy this series. You're going to enjoy watching me, even though very few of you actually watch this. It's no big deal. It's mostly for me. It's mostly so I can talk about stuff and just kind of continuously go on like a stream of consciousness rampage while I'm recording shit. So, yeah. The most important thing in Half-Life is jumping up and down. So you'll see me doing a lot of that.
Hey, Mr. Freeman, I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files. It's just one of those days, I guess. They were having some problems down in the test chamber, too, but I think that's all straightened out. They told me to make sure you headed down there as soon as you got into your hazard suit.
I wonder. I don't know which one of these guys is Barney. I maybe it was the guy who let us out. Who just let us out of the thing. But I have a lot of difficulty remembering. It's the G-Man. Hello, G-Man. Let's continue looking for shit. There's scientists. What do we? Coolant. He's not gonna let me in.
You got the wrong airlock, Mr. Freeman. You know I can't let you through here.
Yeah, no, you can't. I know it. I'm just fucking. We're gaming. So why are the subtitles? I don't know why the subtitles aren't working.
Sorry, I'm on duty.
God damn it. Alright, whatever. Alright, you know what? We'll just be playing through it without subtitles because I don't need subtitles.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment. I can't be bothered right now.
Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago? Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now.
Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now.
Now, where did I leave that shutdown procedure chart?
He's looking for a shutdown procedure chart. Hello, Dr.
Just
Kleiner.
have to wait until after the test. Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
My God, what are you doing?
Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now.
This is me. This is me.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment.
It's me. It's got coffee. It's me. Okay. Let's see. So we've got Casali, Coomer, Birdwell, Jones, Guthrie. Oh, you know what? These are the developers' names. We just watched the credits and I noted Coomer, and then it's yeah. There's no way they put Coomer in here for no reason. Here we go. Freeman. Let's see. We've got a picture of a baby, some bunch of bullshit, basically. Two guys in here. They're just chilling. So high flow day, I guess.
I can't be bothered right now.
Yeah, I'm just fucking. Yeah. We're just. I've probably been quiet the last couple minutes. I don't know. It's a trauma response.
Can we do this later?
I can't be bothered right now.
So, as you guys probably know, as you saw in the Half-Life 2 playthrough, some of these sprites get reused for Half-Life 2 as like characters. See, this sprite is Kleiner. This is Eli Vance, and then there's Barney, of course, and then there's I don't think any of the other guys get it reused.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment.
So, but I don't remember seeing anyone. It's not like Judith shows up again. Obviously, the G-Man shows up. Supposedly, Dr. Breen is on staff here as the administrator. I mean, I think I did some like lore during my playthrough of Half-Life 2, and it turns out that the G-Man in this game is supposed to be hold on. Gotta drink that coffee. But the G-Man is supposed to be the G-Man is the administrator of Black Mesa in this game. But he is replaced in Half-Life 2, like they retcon G-Man being the administrator to Dr. Breen being the administrator because for reasons, because they wanted the G-Man to be like this cool, ethereal guy instead of, which he is kind of in this game, but they wanted him to be like oh, I forgot something in my locker. I forgot the thing. But you know what? Actually, fuck the elevator. It's too slow. But they retconned it to be Dr. Breen because they wanted Dr. Breen to be like, you know, the Nazi collaborator of Half-Life 2, and they wanted the G-Man to be the G-Man. So I do not believe that Dr. Breen shows up in this game. but the G-Man obviously does. We've seen the G-Man already, so I don't know. Just a little retcon note that Dr. Breen is not in the game, but he's in the game at the same time, and the G-Man is sometimes Dr. Breen and sometimes the G-Man.
Hey, catch me later. I'll buy you a beer.
Oh, that was Barney. Because catch me later, I'll buy you a beer. That was Barney. Also, what kind of like science lab has open elevators like this? Like, what the hell, guys? Okay. See you later, nerds.
Sorry, sir. I've got
Control room. Buh, 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 buh.
Ah, Gordon. There you are.
the anti-mass spectrometers are 105%.
Hold on, I gotta take a screenshot of this for Steam. 1 second. Settings, web browser, in-game, screenshot. Hold on. Let me just put this up because this is stupid. Where is pictures? Okay, select. Okay.
Bit of a gamble, but we need the extra resolution.
The administrator...
There we go. I just wanted to get a picture of the guy doing that.
Samples. I gather they went to some lengths to get it.
They're
Can
waiting
you
for
shut
the
up already? I'm trying to game right now.
number.
Thank you. Thank you, Eli. We stan you. It's about to go critical.
It wasn't meant to do this in the first place.
It's not meant to do this in the first place. Like, what kind of facility has elevators like this? Like, come on. Like, since when? This is the precursor to, so in Half-Life 2, it is well known, there, as I documented in the last video, there is an anti-cooming zone.
Deviating a bit from standard analysis procedures today, Gordon.
Yes, but with good reason. This is a rare opportunity for us. This is the purest sample we've seen yet.
And, potentially, the most unstable.
Now, if you follow standard insertion procedures, everything will be fine.
I don't know how you can say that, although I will admit that the possibility of a resonance cascade scenario is extremely unlikely.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional. We've assured the administrator that nothing will go wrong.
Ah,
So,
you're right. Gordon, we have complete confidence in you.
Well, go ahead. Let's let him in now.
anyways. Alright, let's push in this goddamn cart. Where's my cart?
Testing. Everything seems to be in order.
All right, Gordon. Your suit should keep you comfortable through all this. The specimen will be delivered to you in a few moments. If you would
There's no helmet, bro.
climb up and start the rotors, we can bring the anti-mass spectrometer to 80% and hold it there until the carrier arrives.
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Probably Half-Life 2. Oh, yeah. It's a well-known fact in Half-Life 2 that there is an anti-cooming field around Earth. And so I'm imagining that this experiment relates to Half-Life 2 and that it's the first anti-cooming field ever invented by mankind. All of these people are just, like, extremely devout Christians. They're just, like, they're Christian scientists, and they're like, oh, we have to prevent the youth from cooming. we're gonna put this anti-cooming zone over all the colleges in America and prevent people from cooming in them.
Activating now.
But yeah, so this is what the cooming field looks like, guys.
System can operate at this level, nor how long.
Vaguely phallic.
Please, work as quickly as you can.
Invokes some sexual images. Oh, I'm taking some damage because I'm an idiot.
Probably not a problem. Probably, but I'm showing a small discrepancy in, well, no, it's well within acceptable bounds. Sustaining sequence.
I've just been informed that the sample is ready, Gordon. It should be coming up to you any moment now. Look to the delivery system for your specimen.
Oh yeah, the delivery system.
Oh dear!
Gordon, get away from the beam.
Shutting down.
No.
Attempting shutdown. It's not.
It's not even in, bro.
It's not.
Whatever. My lasers, they're so laser yet green. Why isn't my flashlight going? I'm dead. Gordon is dead. Look at this sexy water. What's up, guys? What? They just fucking teleported away. The free man. Well, shit's just breaking, I guess. Barney is dead! No! Whoa. Jesus Christ. What the hell is going on? Okay. Look, the elevator still works.
Why didn't they listen?
We tried to warn them.
I never thought I'd see a resonance cascade, let alone create one.
Gordon, you're alive. Thank God for that hazard suit. I'm afraid to move him and all our phones are out. Please, get to the surface as soon as you can and let someone know we're stranded down here. You'll need me to activate the retinal scanners. I'm sure the rest of the science team will gladly help you.
With my brain, long
Okie dokie.
Why, just look at those peculiar markings.
Okay, see you later, dude. I won't go another step. Also, I was playing Half-Life 2 on hard. I am playing this game on, easy. Or, not easy, normal. That's easy to me because I'm a pro gamer. I remember the first part of this game pretty well. Well, that's what you get for trying to use the elevator in an emergency. Don't you ever read the signs?
Gordon, man, am I glad to see you. What the hell are these things? And why are they wearing science team uniforms?
Oh, if only you knew, Bonnie.
Yeah, let's go. I don't know if we should go any further. Right.
It does not look right. Anyways, come on, Barney. Oh, bam, bam, bam. Thank you, Barney. But yeah, Half-Life 1, relaxing. Nostalgia.
Has to change sooner or later.
Oh, sick. Thank you, Guthrie, for bringing me ammunition. I will say that the coffee that I've drunk during this video is my second cup, and I have to go pee now because that's just the way reality is. So I'm gonna put on a little music for you, and then I will be I'll be back in a second. Okay. All right. I will talk to you guys in a second.
If I could give you three things, I would give you these: song and laughter and a wooden home in the shining sea. When you see old Idaho rising in the dawn, you will play in yellow fields in the morning sun. Sleep where the wind is warm and the moon is high. Give sadness to the stars, sorrow to the sky. When you see old Idaho rising in the dawn, you will play in yellow fields in the morning sun.
All right, everybody, I am back. I know my commentary has not been super invigorating today, but I was just thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? I thought of a topic that I love to talk about, and you know what that topic is? History and movies. So I was sitting here, I was thinking about, you know, movies and shit, and I was like, you know, a movie I watched this week which sucked absolute ass. It was the movie Battleship 2012, which was among other things about battleships. It was like, let me think of the best way to describe this. If you think about the movie Independence Day, and then you think about, okay, how can I make this movie, you know, how can I make this movie Independence Day about the Navy? Then you get Battleship 2012, while also making it about the board game Battleship. Because God knows that if Independence Day was the one thing that Independence Day lacked was a theme about board games. So that is what. So yeah. So it was really bad. It was really bad. It sent me on like a huge. Need a little help there, buddy? You know what? Never mind. It actually was. it actually sent me on like a big Wikipedia rabbit hole about my aim is not that good. Not as good as I thought it was, apparently. That was a...
Glad to oblige you, fellow scientist.
Give me heroin.
I'll stay here. Lead the way.
Come on, dude. Okay, well... Anyways, Battleship...
Responsible for this mess.
It's me. I did this. Anyways, Battleship 2012 is... Oh, hello, G-Man.
I hope the lab can get this under control.
Anyways, Battleship is... It... Okay. Okay, I've said Independence Day, but for the Navy, okay? Aliens invade, okay? Oh, shit! Fuck, what the hell? Anyways, aliens invade, and, give me HP. There's a guy in here. I know there's a guy in here. Whatever. Where did the other guy go? I guess he died. Okay, anyways. But, basically the plot of the movie is there's this guy who's a loser. Okay. You know, I know lots of guys who are losers. I'm a guy who could be himself considered a loser. Okay. Not an unfamiliar terrain to make a movie about a guy who is a loser. You know? I'm sure we've all... you know, seen a movie about loser guys at one point or another. But, this guy was like, you know, really... I don't know, he was just living on his brother's couch. And the brother was some kind of, like, hard-ass, like, Navy guy, okay? And I was watching this movie, and I was like, man... and the hard-ass Navy guy, the brother does something stupid. He, like, gets drunk and he gets, like, he, like, steals a chicken burrito from a gas station. That is a very kind way of putting it, but that is more or less what happens, okay? And so then the brother, because the guy, got put in the drunk tank or something, I don't even think he was, like, really... Oh, shit. I'm fine. I'm alive. What the... Whoa. Oh, I got ground up in ground beef. Okay. But the brother who, you know... Compared to, like, you know, what he did, the crime of getting put in the drunk tank is really, you know... Again, he broke into a gas station that was closing, and he stole a chicken burrito. Okay? Compared to the crime, which was mostly involved property damage, okay? And then also, I think he beat up a cop or something like that. Man, there's a lot of these little bastards. What the hell? Getting thrown into the fucking... Crowbar, best weapon. Okay, does anyone else have any fucking problems with the Battleship movie? Okay, well... God, these little head guard guys are kind of bastards. Okay. Anyways, there's a health thing up there. How can I get up there? Can I stack boxes? I want to get up there. Well, I guess I would have to jump off the thing. Whatever. But the guy is. Yeah, but the brother is like, you will join the Navy! And keep in mind, like, you know, these are two adult, grown men who are brothers. A younger brother got wasted one night and made a stupid decision, you know, and the older brother, like, flips out and was like, you know, you're joining the Navy now. I'm gonna fucking make you, you know, I'm gonna compel you to commit at least, you know, like 2 or 3 years of your life to the military because you got drunk and did stupid shit one night. Like, come on, man. Like, this is kind of like, this guy's your brother. Like, you don't really, he's an adult. You don't get to make that decision for him. But anyways, the guy ends up joining the Navy, and unsurprisingly, joining the Navy makes him you know, it gives him, like, he's good at the Navy, apparently. Like, you know, he made it to, like, being a naval officer or so of some kind. Like, he was, like, commanding a battleship or something. Or not a battleship, a destroyer or something. Like, he was some, like, kind of, like, he was some, like, minor, you know, petty officer. Something like that. And, he was some just, like, not a petty officer. He was just some like, you know, schmuck. He wasn't like an admiral or anything. He was just like, he was like a lieutenant commander. I don't remember, but he was something. He was some just like schmuck. He wasn't like particularly talented at it. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm a Navy schmuck who probably got his position through nepotism. Okay, and hold on, let me figure out what the quick save key is. Quick save, F6, bam. Okay. And he oh look, there's a meat grinder. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, he ends up doing some, like, naval training exercise or something because he's, you know, a Navy schmuck. He has to do naval shit. He gets in, like, a fight with a Japanese dude, and they become enemies. You know, this is not the point of the movie, okay? The point of the movie is being Air Force One, but for the Navy. Or not Air Force One. Is to be Independence Day, but for the Navy, okay? The point of the movie is nothing besides, like, okay, this is how cool the Navy is, guys. Look how cool the Navy is. That is the whole objective of this movie. And the way they show off how cool the Navy is they get the USS Missouri, which was built in, like, 1943 or something like that, okay? It was built at, like, the height. It was commissioned in 41, and I think it was built in 43. But I mean, they take, like, the let me just gather my thoughts for a minute. I remember this puzzle being tough. Okay. God bless platforming. Oh, you know what this is? Okay, I don't think I've ever been in this area before. Oh, this is just... What? Son of a bitch. Oh wait, never mind. This is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to, okay. But they take, instead of, like, you know, aircraft carriers and, you know, sonar and radar and submarines and stuff, to make the Navy appeal to the kids, they get Rihanna, the singer, who's, you know, she does a good job in the movie. She's not bad. And then they get the USS Missouri, which is a battleship from World War II. It's actually the battleship that the Japanese surrendered to the United States on. Okay, and they get it in the movie. That battleship has been decommissioned for. At the time of the movie, it was probably like maybe 15 years. I think it was decommissioned in 1996. But which is in and of itself. God damn it! Again, I remember this puzzle being hard, and it's harder to talk about it while talking about fucking the Battleship movie. Okay, so cut me some slack. And I'm taking a long time to talk about the Battleship movie. Okay, so they take. Let me explain what a battleship is. Okay. So in the golden age of so you have in World War in the United States Civil War there were there was a big naval innovation that kind of how do I say this? It redefined like what a navy should be, okay? And that was they had these two like ironclad boats. I'm sure everyone has heard of it. They had these two ironclad boats, and they had these big, naval guns, okay? And the armor was really good on them. But the what do you call it? The ammunition or whatever, it was not so hot like the guns that they actually had. They weren't strong enough to pierce the iron armor that these boats had. And so and everyone was like, and like no, I'm pretty sure short of like some really intense technological shit, it would be pretty difficult to take down these boats. So these boats, you could, they weren't powered by sails or wind or rowing or anything like that. They were just they were powered by steam, and they were powered by steam, and they could just kind of go wherever they wanted, okay? And okay, I thought that was some fucking bullshit for a second. Yeah, they were powered by steam, and they could just and they were. Why am I struggling with words? It's because I'm playing Half-Life, but. Let me just go on this rant. It's not really... I know no one's listening to this, and anyone who listens to this doesn't really care about my ability to articulate myself. I'm normally a little bit more better at explaining things than this, although I'm not great at explaining this kind of stuff. But anyways, so you had these two ironclad boats, and they were fighting it out, and everyone was like, "Whoa, these boats, they're fucking crazy, bro!" And so everyone built, ironclad vessels that were powered by steam because, why the fuck not? And I'm never gonna get there. And they did this, and it was don't leave the taps running, bros. That's what the lesson of this room is. Man, I wish the gravity gun was in this game. But, but they did this, and, oh, God. They did this, oh, I did it again. Okay. They did this, and they, and like Great Britain and Germany and France are like, oh, we gotta build these big ass boats because it's fucking amazing, dude. And around the same time that this happened, you had you had the Europeans really extending their empires around the world. So you had like so shortly after the Civil War, there was like these big there was this big leap in naval technology and thinking, and at the same time you had these European empires colonizing the whole world for natural resources and national prestige. In the and so this led to people believing that in order to really be a world superpower, okay, you had to have a big ass navy, okay. Like we're talking like big, like we're talking like the biggest navy you've ever seen in your whole life. And your navy couldn't just be big, but it also had to have big ships. And so you had people. So you had. God, I love the shotgun in this game. So you had. Okay, all right. You know what? We're fine. Okay. And so you had all sorts of people. Why am I? Man, I forgot how fucking complicated this game is. Oh, oh, oh. But you had fellers. And again, so sorry. What I was saying was, in order to, you had a bunch of like naval thinkers believing that in order to be like a true European, in order to be a true overseas empire, you needed a big navy, okay? Because you had all these natural resources coming in from, around the world, from India and China and Africa and North and South America. You needed a big navy to protect these things and project your power, around the world. I mean, I think that's relatively straightforward, okay? And so the way that they did this was by building big boats. And man, Gordon is pretty great with shotguns. I killed this guy through the room. Huh, okay. And so they decided that they were like, okay, we need, in order to really be, a European, in order to really be an empire, we need to have big boats. Okay, we need to have boats. And so everyone was like, all right, let's have some boats. And that makes sense, right? Let's build boats. And I'm trying to think of like the way to phrase this. They built boats, and the boats were fine, and they made them. God damn it! I'm trying to think of like the concise way to put this in like a simple thing. Because I'm not actually super familiar with this. This is not something I study, incredibly, advancedly. I'm a history major, but I read the Wikipedia article. Oh my god. Pitch. Okay, so they're all right. Well, okay, so they were building their navies up. All right, and
okay, I'll wait here and help anyone else who comes by. Okay, I'll cover you. Hey, what the hell are you doing down here? Get topside. I hear troops are coming in to save us.
Oh yeah, they're gonna save us, the troops. Let's get it. But there was this big naval, you know, there's this big naval race. You know, it was like, you know, who's gonna build the biggest navy, the fastest, you know, with the most sailors and all that kind of shit, so they can protect their colonial holdings. Okay. And so then people started thinking, okay, what if instead of building more ships, we built better ships? Not better ships. God damn it, I'm stumbling. I've been on this topic for like 20 minutes. Okay, alright. Iron ships, they were like, we gotta build a navy. People built a navy. It was okay. You know, everything was hunky-dory. But people basically, naval theory at that time was like, okay, I can't explain this super well. I'm sorry, guys. Well, no one's watching this video anyways. I'm just trying to explain it to myself, really, when you think about it. It's kind of fucked up. But anyways, there was a big race to build their navy, not just to protect their colonial holdings, but to make their navy bigger and better than other people's navies. And a big component of the navy were, and people believed that, you know, we could put many guns on you if you made bigger ships with thicker armor and
Allow me to treat that injury.
Yeah, thanks for the heroin, Doc. But if you had bigger ships with bigger guns and more armor, and you would, you know, that would count for, you know, that would be more effective against smaller ships with lighter guns that were, you know, more, you know, that were, you know, more common. And more importantly is that the mere by just having these ships in port, not by doing anything else with them, by just by their sheer existence, just because you have, you know, one or two, you know, really fantastic, you know, ships with big guns, and that just by having a couple of these ships, you could don't go in the vents. That's what the idea is. Okay, I understand. Just by having a few of these ships, you could move out of the way, please. You could you could. I'm backtracking now. I'm backtracking. Just by having a few of these ships, you could. You could prevent the enemy, even if they have like a bigger fleet, from attacking your things because, well, they don't know where the ships are, and so they're going to, you know, you're causing them, like, so if they don't know where your, you know, big capital ship is, right? If they don't know what port it's in, you know, they don't know if it's in Africa or Asia or where it is, then you know, they'll think twice about, you know, sending their smaller, less effective ships to attack to attack you in Europe. Okay, and that kind of makes sense, right? You know, if you don't know where something is, but you know that they have something, you know, powerful and you know, kind of terrifying, like a dreadnought. You would think twice. You know, you're like, okay, well, I don't know where this particular ship is, and I know that if this ship was here, it could you know, destroy my whole navy or whatever. So I'm going to be more conservative with my attacks. And the ships that were these big capital ships, they had big guns and big armor. These were called dreadnoughts. These were called battleships and dreadnoughts, and you know, you probably heard of other names for them. But the concept of it, the archetype is like they're well armored, big guns, that kind of thing. Okay. And that was the theory, is that by just the mere presence of these ships sitting in the ocean, that they would prevent your navy from being attacked. And they were extremely expensive. Like, we're talking, like, you know, like countries would you know, put themselves into, you know, deep debt. They were very highly sought after, but at the same time they were super expensive, and so they would and so there was they, you know, countries would put themselves, you know, really deep into debt in order to obtain these ships. And the problem with them was they did not, I don't want to say they didn't work, but let's just say their utility was overestimated. There weren't actually many, you know, big decisive naval battles fought in this period. They just, you know, people weren't really that many fought. And, you know, cost benefit analysis, okay? If you build one of these ships, it can indent your country for years and years and years. They are only, you have to constantly, like, upgrade them, okay? You have to constantly be like, you know, hey, let's, you know, there's a newer, bigger gun out. There's, you know, more, there's better armor that we need to put on this. The engines, you know, new, more efficient engines have been invented. So you have to, there are constant investment, right? You know, you constantly have to invest in them and build them so that they're not, you know, so they don't become outdated. And they're just super expensive, and, you know, and within their lifetime, right? You know, they might only fight a few battles. They might only fight, you know, a handful of battles in the amount of time that they're actually, you know, sailing in the ocean, right? Because I mean, a lot of these, I mean, the British during World War II built a lot of these ships, but you know, they didn't fight many battles. Especially, you know, they built these battles. They built these battleships, and they took years and years and years to complete. Right? You know, they took, you know, they took, you know, 2-3 years to complete. Right? And they were very expensive, but you know. But again, as soon as, you know, sometimes as soon as, because of how long it took to build them, as soon as they, you know, touched the water, they were outdated. You know, they were, I mean, there's one example of a British ship that was built that it was completed at the end of World War II in like 1944, and it was decommissioned, like, for scrap in 1960. Like, they only got, you know, 16 years out of that thing, and it was in a period of, you know, complete, you know, for the UK at least, I mean, the only notable engagement that it could have been used in was, like, you know, maybe the Korean War and the Suez Crisis, right? Like, so if you think about it like that, like, you know, how many battles is this ship actually going to fight in before it's outdated, right? And how many, and, you know, how it compared to, like, how much it's gonna cost my country. And so it, you know, I think it's, you know, for the time that they were built, you know, they were very effective ships, right? No one's gonna, you know, if your navy was constantly, you know, in fighting, and, you know, sure, these ships would be useful, but, you know, they weren't invincible either, right? They were... Also, I think that this one's going to be a long one because I'm enjoying playing Half-Life. You know, they were, like, you know, they were the pinnacle of contemporary naval technology, but they weren't, invincible. Especially when you start considering, later technological advances in the especially after World War I, right? And so you have, a torpedo boat, right? Like something. So this is another cost with these cruisers or with these battleships. Okay, they are very vulnerable to torpedoes, right? One or two torpedoes can sink the whole thing, and torpedoes don't require a big old battleship to be launched. They just take a little tiny torpedo boat, and so in order to efficiently so in order to protect your cruiser or your battleships from these torpedo boats, you need to invest in other ships to screen your vessel, to make it so that.
Hey, don't count on the cavalry finding us down here. Head for the surface.
You have to invest in other ships that can beat the torpedo boats and other naval. You have to create even more ships. Come on, man, let me through. Whatever. Nice roll, man. But you have to create even more ships that are even, it's another expense that has to be calculated when you're considering the cost of these battleships, right? They have to build more ships to protect the battleships, and it's a very expensive endeavor. These ships already had all these vulnerabilities, right? And then submarines came along, and so these ships already had these vulnerabilities, especially in the age of, like, even at their height, right, in the late 1800s, in the early 1900s. They were very expensive, and they were vulnerable to smaller ships, even though they were much smaller, less expensive ships. They had these drawbacks, but in World War I, submarines came out. So there were submarines were advancing, and it became, and submarines having torpedoes were also effective against these large, these large vessels. So we're now. Let me get past this. Okay. I don't know how that didn't trigger anything. We love our machine gun folks. But again, they had all these drawbacks already, and then the submarines happen, and it's like, okay, they're becoming an increasing liability. They need more. There's another thing to consider when you're building them and investing in them, and then also in World War I, What the fuck? Owned. You know, we're talking about, you know, more effective aircraft. And so by the time World War II rolls around, you know, what are we looking at, right? You're looking at these, you know, ultra expensive, you know, you're looking at these ultra expensive, like we're talking, you know, we're talking about especially again, and after World War I, the pace of that military technology was developing at became even more pronounced, right? It became even more extreme, and so and so you really have to, you know, you're questioning. Sorry. So after World War I, the pace that technology was developing at, you know, becomes even more extreme, and so you really have to think about, like, you know, is this something that my country wants to invest in? When we're talking about the 1920s and 30s, a lot of countries, obviously, right, still believed that they were, you know, a worthwhile investment. Right, you know, including, you know, the United States and Great Britain, but you know, more and more, we're starting to consider them, and the Soviet Union, we're starting to consider, like, okay, these are a liability, right? And so when we're And so, so we're just gonna have a little bit of a Mission Impossible thing going on here, I guess. Whatever. But, you know, so again, we're getting into World War II, and we have, you know, these more dangerous and advanced naval bombers, right? And you know, aircraft that you know, just one bomb or just one or two bombs could take out, you know, a battleship that's, you know, 100 times as expensive as this airplane, right? You know, and so it's man, this fucking water is kind of a bitch. You know what we're doing? Wait, that doesn't work. Okay. Let me just focus for a second here. Are you fucking with me right now? Okay, good. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom again. Okay. So you've got, I don't know, you've got, all right, well, so, you know, when World War II's come around, you also have aircraft carriers, right? So even, so, you know, it's not just, the aircraft aren't just threatening these battleships away from, you know, on the coast, but also, are you supposed to? Hello?
Fire containment door is down. Fire containment door is down.
Let me think about this for a second. Half-Life 1 fire door. Okay. I'm stuck on these fire containment doors. Here we go. Okay. But anyways, you also, you know, at the start of World War II, you've got, you know, these new. Oh well, I just fucked myself. You've got aircraft carriers, and you've got faster, better aircraft, and that can attack these battleships more effectively. And so, you know, you're starting to really consider the the cost of these battleships. And in World War II, there were so few battles that were actually fought with these battleships there were so few battleships that actually that the battleships actually fought in. There's so few battles that the battleships fought in.
You look terrible. Hold still. This won't hurt a bit.
That basically they were considered obsolete with the amount of threats that could attack a battleship multiplying, and the amount of so with the amount of threats that could attack a battleship multiplying, and the usefulness that they would have, there's not that many battles that they're fighting in, very conspicuously decreasing. Most countries decided that they weren't useful in a world, by 1950s. I mean, every major by 1960, all the battleships that were on the open sea were decommissioned. Okay. Where are they shooting? And so, and so most countries, decommissioned the battleship. So why is the USS Missouri, a battleship that had last fired its naval guns in 1953 in the Korean War, okay? Why was this battleship the selling point? How did this battleship? How is this battleship the star of the show, of the movie Battleship, right? How could it be? How could this be? You know, this is by 19. Sorry, not by 2012, the very concept of the battleship itself was considered outdated naval thinking for, you know, let's do the math. 1912 or 2012. You know, let's just say that the battleship was considered outdated in 1962 for easy math. It had been considered outdated for 50 years, okay? Why is the battleship a selling point for the Navy in 2012? Well, let me re-educate you guys on what I just told you. In 1986, the Reagan administration commissioned a new a new naval plan to combat the growing threat of the Soviet Union, which involved recommissioning 4 battleships in 1986. In 1986, okay, 4 battleships, right? They were recommissioned by the Navy to intimidate the Soviet Union. Okay. Now, what? Let's think about this, okay? In 1986, what kind of military technology is there, right? There is there are stealth bombers and missiles that can go there are nuclear weapons, you know, they can go intercontinentally. There are advanced submarines and aircraft carriers that can carry hundreds of airplanes, okay? What naval thinker in their right mind would say, "Oh, you know what the United States needs to protect itself from the Soviet Union in 1986? Battleships." Right? You know, who in their right mind would be thinking this? I don't know. Because again, you know, the concept of a battleship was considered obsolete, like you know, because again, you know, would you rather have a battleship which has limited range, it's super expensive, and you know is of limited utility in battle because of its multiple vulnerabilities, or an aircraft carrier which gives you airplanes, right? You know, you should be aircraft carrier every time, right? You know, we're talking, you know, sure, aircraft carriers are expensive and, you know, they don't have much in the way of naval weaponry, but the weaponry, the increased flexibility that having planes on your ship gives you is, in my opinion, and I'm not an admiral or anything, right? But, you know, I think it's pretty clear that that is well worth it. The USS Missouri, which is again the ship featured in the movie 2012, or in the 2012 Battleship movie, actually has seen combat since the Korean War. It was active in the Gulf War in 1992, and it fired its 16-inch naval guns like 170 times or something like that. But I'm gonna be honest, I kind of, you know, why not just use an airplane, right? You know, why are we, you know, what was, you know, why? Because there are now, you know, in naval technology, right? You know, why not just use missiles? You know, what do we, you know, what do we, you know, why are you using this like 1953? You know, why are you using this 1943, you know, naval technology and naval tactics on, you know, in 1992? What's the point of this, right? You know, we're talking about a ship that was probably outdated as soon as it set sail, right? You know, again, the USS Missouri was it entered the sea in 1943. I don't think it ever saw ship-to-ship combat. I think it bombarded the shores of Japan a little bit. I think it supported some ground operations, but I don't think it ever saw ship-to-ship combat, right? You know, why you know, why are we in 1940? Just what the hell? What the hell? Right? You know, what the hell is going on? Well, like, we're talking about, you know, like, again, the ship was set sail in 1943. At that point, the United States had, you know, many aircraft carriers. Aircraft technology was rapidly advancing. You know, one or two aircraft could, again, take out a battleship on their own. You know, why it would, you know, the battleship, which was commissioned in 1941, and I think, and you know, I get it, you know, in 1941, in January of 1941, it was not, Pearl Harbor had not happened yet, but you know, there were more. The World War II was still in full swing, even if the United States was not involved. The world was more violent. I could see why someone would think that battleships would still have a place in the modern, in the contemporary, like, Navy thinking, right? You know, there's, you know, sure, you know, they haven't seen so much combat yet, but, you know, the United States is anticipating a big war with Japan, and, you know, it just kind of seems like it might be necessary in the future. So, what is... Oh, I got blown up. We don't like getting blown up, do we, folks? I could see why in 1943 somebody, you know, an admiral would be like, okay, you know, we'll have a couple of battleships in order to, you know, not be caught, not in order just to have them, right? They could still be useful, you know. You know, while aircraft are advancing, you know, they're still limited, and there's, you know, there's no missiles or anything, and submarines are also advancing. There's still, you know, some kind of, you know, idea where, you know, there's still some kind of, you know, crumb of usefulness for these things in 1943. By the time the Korean War happened, you're starting to see the first jets appear, you're starting to see stealth bombers. You know, military technology is pretty much coming up to where we're at today. And so it, you know, why, you know, why it's not, I mean, it's not exactly there, but, you know, a lot of modern military technology is still, you know, appearing. You know, it's still, there's still shit happening that is, you know, you know, there's still shit happening. So when we're, oh, god damn you, Half-Life, god damn you. You're like, oh, Josiah, why are you going up when you should be going down? Go fuck yourself. Anyways, but, you know, and so, you know, I think, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I don't want to look bad because I'm, you know, supporting the decisions of the U.S. Navy right now, but I think it was probably a good decision to decommission these battleships in the 50s. I think that was a good time for it. I could see why you might want to keep them around, and in the 50s, you know, there's still, you know, the Soviet Union, you know, they might be doing stuff. You know, I could see the tactical usefulness of them. But by 1956, by and large, I'm 100 and, you know, I would have gotten, you know, maybe I would have gotten rid of them earlier, you know, and, but, you know, by this, oh, they fucking naded me, bastards. You know, but I'm comfortable with getting rid of battleships in 1956. I think that was, you know, overall a good decision. In 1986, again, I'm gonna go back to this. They were like, you know, these ships, they've been in, like, the naval reserves for like 30 years. They're the very concept that they are you know, like the very idea that this ship was like created under to you know, like the very concept of the ship, you know, the is considered, you know, obsolete now. Why would you, you know, why would, like, I'm just struggling with the words. Why would you recommission it? Why not just build 4 more aircraft carriers instead of taking these outdated, you know, the USS Missouri is where the surrender of Japan was signed. It is, in my opinion, you know, it is a place of historical importance, right? You know, you know, this is, it's you know, I don't think, you know, World War II had war crimes. The United States was, you know, even though they were in the fight against fascism and imperialism, did not do great things in World War II. We did some, you know, I think they're you know, beating up Nazi Germany good. Dropping nukes on Japan, probably not good. Probably should have just cooperated with the Soviets and you know, tried to negotiate some other kind of surrender, if you ask me. But okay, well, I'm just gonna get cut up. That's fine. You know what? That's cool. I'm okay with that. You know, because you know, the Soviets, you know, they were also, because the war in the East, or rather the war of the Pacific, ended after the war in Europe, right? There's you know, the Soviet Union was sending its veteran soldiers from the Western theater and into the, you know, into you know, into the East, because they were going to finish off Japan. And oh God. And the United States was like, okay, we're gonna, you know, we don't want them to have any. Let me put it this way. The United States wanted unilateral authority to make peace with Japan. They wanted all of the imperial. They wanted all the authority. They wanted complete and total hegemony over the former Japanese sphere of influence and in Asia, right? You know, they didn't want the Soviets, you know, interfering, quote unquote, like they did in Europe, right? And so the United States decided to, in order to speed up the victory in Europe, decided to drop nuclear weapons, which is, you know, not, you know, they basically dropped them because they were greedy. You know, I'm sure the Soviets, who would have, you know, been willing to work with the United States, is this kind of like a, I don't know, it just seems kind of like shit to drop nukes on people. It's just kind of like overall kind of an objectionable decision, kind of not a great thing to do. Don't at me. Anyways, yeah, so, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, battleships. The Navy. Yeah, so the Navy recommissioned the USS whatever in the 50s or in the 80s and we turned it into a missile platform, and it sucks. It was a stupid decision. I don't know why they made it. Should have just kept it decommissioned and is like a place of historic. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a place of historical importance. There's no reason. There's no reason to re-commission it, right? There's just it's a. Despite the victory being article of shame for the way it was won for all humanity, right? Nuclear weapons are horrendous. It is still a place of historical importance, and we should preserve it and educate people about how nuclear weapons are bad, or something like that. And but instead, the Reagan administration was just like, okay, well, we're gonna take this place of we're gonna take this thing and we're just gonna strap a bunch of fucking missiles to it, and we're gonna call it a fucking day, because you know what, we suck. We're the worst people of all time. So that's pretty much the whole story for that.
Well, so much for the government. Their idea of containment is to kill everyone associated with the project. Judging from your hazard suit, I'd say you were part of what went wrong. Isn't that right? Now look, if anyone can end this catastrophe, it's the science team in the Lambda complex at the opposite end of the base. With the transit system out, I couldn't tell you how to get there. But there's an old decommissioned rail system somewhere through here, beyond the
Just give me heroin, dude.
If you can make it through the rocket test labs, you might
Inject
be
me
able
with
to
the green
work your
liquid.
way through the old tunnels to track down whatever's left of the Lambda team. You can trust them. You can trust all of us. Good luck.